Sheep versus cows. Completely different animals used for the exact same purpose. Meat. But which one's better at making money and more suited for your farm? There are 5 categories of analysis we need to go over to figure out which one is best. Whoever wins more than 3 categories is the better farm animal. Now, I'm not going to be talking about milk sheep today because that's a completely different situation. I will be talking about meat sheep and meat cows because that's what we have here on the farm. The first category is land. How much acreage do you need to support cows rather than sheep and vice versa? Well, every property is different depending on where you live, the climate, and how good your grass is. So I can't say with certainty how many cows or sheep you can have on your land. But I will tell you right now that sheep do not need as much land to graze on than cows do. On average, it takes about 7 sheep, Katahdins, to eat as much grass as 1 cow. So if you only could support 5 cows on your land, you could actually support 35 sheep instead. So for smaller farms, sheep are actually a lot more versatile because they don't need as much land to graze on. So sheep get their first win in the land category. The second category is actually very important and very complicated. Which one is easier to take care of? We have over 100 Katahdin sheep and they relatively stay in the same place with only 1 hot rye or strand. They aren't tame to where you can pet them, but they stay pretty chill most of the time, same with the cows. They're all pretty timid and laid back. But to tell you which one is more of a hassle, I'm gonna have to say it's the sheep. The lambing season is in full swing right now, giving us over 150 baby sheeps running around. That is great, but we ended up having to pull and help out 8 of the moms with their births, which was an absolute stress fest. We didn't have to pull any calves in the calving season this year, which was great. But probably the biggest reason why sheep are so much more of a hassle than cows is that we have to trim the sheep's hooves every year, along with giving them worming and medication whenever they need it throughout the year. This is really hard work, and we never have to deal with cattle hooves or trimming them at all, thankfully. Although I will say if cattle need any kind of medical assistance whatsoever, they're a lot harder to deal with than sheep. But our cows hardly ever get sick, and the sheep that we have seem to be more susceptible to diseases than the cows. You then also have to worry about predators with sheep because they can't fight back, they just die. While cows, for the most part, can fight off predators themselves. So the cow wins its first category of easiness to keep. The third category is butchering. Since we're talking about beef and meat sheep, it's important to note that if you're sending anything to the butcher or butchering it yourself, you're gonna get a ton more meat for your family with cows. But butchering it yourself-wise, the sheep is easier to do. You don't need a grinder or a tractor to hold it up while you skin it. It's just a much easier process that doesn't take that long to do. But somebody has to win this category, and since the cow's beef tastes better than any other animal meat on the planet, I'm just gonna give it to it. The fourth category is how much is the initial investment. In other words, how much do they cost? Cows are expensive. The market for them is just going really high right now. The average cost in our area for a breeding age cow is about $2,500. So for the initial investment, to put it short, sheep are going to be so much cheaper. The average cost for a breeding aged ewe around here is about $250. I can't tell you exactly how much a sheep or cow will cost because I don't know where you live and I don't know what breed you want. But I can guarantee you that a sheep will be less than any other cow you will ever buy. This actually leads us to the last category. Who makes you more money? Well, the sheep already has the advantage of not costing as much to start with. And there's already a list of what the sheep can do better than the cow. Like number 1, sheep mature faster and are ready to breed quicker. Cows will be 2 years old when they have their first calf, while sheep are only 1 year old when they lamb for the first time. Number 2, sheep have a short gestation period of only 5 months, while cows gestate for over 9 months. Number 3, sheep can have more offspring per year because they have the potential to have twins, while cows can almost always have 1. And number 4, sheep don't have to live on as much land as cows. That's great and all, but to give you the perfect picture on who's better at profit, I need to give you guys an economic example. Let's go back to the case I had earlier about 5 cows on your land or 35 sheep. Okay, let's say you bought 5 cows for $12,500, and let's just say they're bred. It would take you about 9 months until you had 5 new calves. Those 5 calves won't be ready to sell until they're at least 7 months old. And it really depends on what breed it is, but I'm just gonna say you sell them all for $2,000 each. That makes you $10,000. awesome. You made a profit of nothing because you're still in the hole $2,500 from buying the cows that created those calves. Now, let's look at the sheep. Same situation, but instead you bought 35 sheep for $8,750 instead of the cows, while those 5 cows costed $12,500. Let's say the sheep are bred too. They're pregnant for about 5 months until each of them have 2 baby lambs, which makes about 70 baby sheeps. The little sheeps then grow up after 7 months and then are sold for $200 each. This makes you $14,000, which actually comes out to $5,250 profit the first year. After, of course, paying off the 35 sheep. That's literally $7,750 more than what you would have made with the cows. In the end, the winner of the sheep versus cows debate is the sheep. They will make you more money in a smaller amount of time and overall are the better farm animal. I know the cattlemen watching this video are probably crying in their beds right now. But just remember, cattlemen, cows taste better, they're cuter, and there's no reason why you shouldn't have them. We have found that the best way is just to have a mix of both animals here on the farm, so then we have the tastiest beef to butcher. And because my dad has an unhealthy obsession with cows. See y'all next time on That's Farm.